Thank you. Terima kasih. Right. Thank you. Thank you for coming here. My name is CJ, as what Maria has introduced. And enough about me. It's not about me. It's about everybody here. So we're going to talk a little bit about disruption and how we can cope with it. So that's a topic about leading with empathy through disruption and uncertainty. Why this title? Because it's got all the keywords. I guess that's why you are here, right? So it's got all the keywords in here. Now, what we want to achieve for the next 2 hours, this is some of the agenda. You'll notice that there is no boring PPT because it's after lunch. So, nope, I promise you there's no PPT, right? So, some of the things, we'll do an activity on my wall. I'll explain what it is. We'll talk a little bit about disruption. And then something about psychological safety and how it's important to handle disruption or cope with disruption. We will be looking at what kinds of norms, if you were to work in teams, what kinds of norms will be helping you or will be helpful in developing psychological safety to face with disruption. We'll be sharing a case on that topic as well. So there'll be some cases and we'll analyze it. As you can see, there are some worksheets already on the table. Those are it. By the way, how many of you are feeling a bit cold here? Don't worry, we will get people to exercise a lot. You will not feel cold, right? So that's what we'll do. And then we'll end with the reflection and dialogue. So this is what we have planned. Questions at this stage. Now, one of the key things that I really would like to achieve out of this session is to see whether we can have some practical strategies to cope with the topic. So this is something that we are looking into, practical, actionable things to co-create. So that's one part of it. The other part is, since we talk about psychological safety, I'd like to make this a safe space, right? So it's unlikely that we are going to share very personal things. I just want to have that psychological safety to feel that whatever you mention, all answers, all contributions are the correct answers. Okay? Yep. So whatever you say, no worries. It's all the right one. So first off, I just attended the earlier session and just realized that 2 hours will go past very quickly. So if I'm speaking a bit fast, let me know. Because I tend to get very excited when I see a lot of people and then when I have a very time pressure. So if I'm too fast, let me know. If you need help translating whatever I'm saying, let me know. I'll try my best in the local language if I happen to know. If I happen to know. Right. So this is what we do. You have a stack of A4 size paper, blank A4 size paper. Yep. And what I want you to do is, if you want to work in a team, what is the one strength that I bring to any team? Now, I don't want you to write the answers. I want you to draw it. So with the A4 size paper, you only got 3 minutes, draw whatever that represents what is one strength. If you want to draw 2, fine. Or more, it's fine. But what is one strength that I can bring to any team? If I were to go into a team, what is the strength that I can contribute? So draw something, 3 minutes, on the A4 size paper that's on the table. Just pick one, do your own thing, and that's part one of the activity. Thank you so much. Thank you. Right, so the topic again today, we were going to talk about disruption. So when we talk about disruption, what are some of the things that comes to mind when we talk about disruption? Anyone?
And one can be change, any kind of change.
Any kind of change, right? So you can there could be changes. Yeah. What else?
A shake-up.
Shake-up. Okay. Okay. How bad is a shake-up?
Earthquake, tsunami.
Earthquake, tsunami. Okay, so in a nutshell, this is how we view things, right? So in the past, in the distant past, so if you have a target over here, And if you want to achieve this target, just make sure that, can see? That's right. This right? Can hear? So if you want to achieve the target in the ancient past, what you do is you will plan. You will have a step-by-step plan, and you will eventually reach the target. Right? So that's what we call a waterfall way of reaching our target. You have a step-by-step plan, which is replicable, which is predictable, and that is what you do. Then came this thing called agile. Right? What is agile? Agile is actually, the target here is not very clear, but you probably will have some kind of idea whereabouts the target is. So you have a rough estimated direction. That's the target. It's not very clear. And you don't have preset steps. You don't really know how you want to reach the target, but you know it's there. And you got to do something, right? So what we do in Agile is we try one step towards the target and find that maybe it's not the right step, and then we correct ourselves, right? And then we do reviews, we do retrospects, and we kind of realign our steps to make sure that eventually we reach the target. So that's Agile. Now, what is disruption? Disruption is we start with a target, and then we try to do the Agile thing. So we take different steps, right? And then suddenly, what happened? Yeah, the target changed, right? And when the target changed, what happens to these two steps? It went to waste. So it doesn't really happen. And then you find that the target actually was in a total different direction. So it's totally different thing. And just when you are about to work on this target, the target changed again, and it's somewhere around here. And somehow you got to figure out different ways to reach that target, right? So that's, in a way, disruption is. So this is what I need you to do. So can everybody find a partner? If you have odd numbers in your table, maybe you want to find someone else from a different table. Share with one another, what are some disruptions that you have experienced before at work, in life, whatsoever? Okay, so can we pick a partner? If you are left out, yeah, in the same table or different table. If you are left out of your table, please find someone of a different table. So you quit at the wrong time. Right, thank you. So there are many disruptions at work, in life, whatsoever. Now, what does psychological safety have to do with it? And before we even go into the topic, what is psychological safety? Now, this part, well, in a usual workshop, I'll just put a PPT and say this is psychological safety and why is it important. But since we are talking about facilitation, so I'm going to make you do the work, not me, because I'm the facilitator. So this is what we do. Right, on a table, you will see a flip chart that has this big word, psychological safety. And basically, there are three columns. One of it is, what is psychological safety? Psychological safety itu apa? Right, so, apa itu? Right, so what it's not. Right, so it's not just about knowing what it is, but what is it not? And why is it important for you to use psychological safety to deal with disruption? Now, here are some of the rules. You have a stack of post-it notes on the table as well. Yep. And each group, just do in your own group, you can brainstorm as many ideas as you can. You can even use AI, ChatGPT, DeepSeek, whatever. Go ahead, right? Just do. The thing about this session is cheating is definitely allowed and encouraged, right? So you can peer over what the other guys are doing if you want to, right? It's entirely up to you, right? But eventually, what I need is what will be your top 3 picks in each of these. So you have a divergent collection of what is psychological safety, I mean, what are some of the traits, characteristics, and so on. What are some misconceptions, what it is not. So that could be a huge list, right? You may borrow something from Wikipedia if you want to, and so on. And also, why is it important to have psychological safety in times of disruption? So there could be 1,001 reasons. But eventually, I'll need the group to list down only three each. So you got to have that discussion to throw out the rest of the 9,000 other suggestions, right? And after that, we'll get each group to kind of share with the rest, everybody else, why you pick this three. Ken? Questions? How much time do we need for that?
So first we have to
what I've done also is to condense whatever we can find in terms of how psychological safety came about, what is it by different definitions, what studies were being made by Google and other companies and so on, and why is it important in times of disruption. So we're giving out handouts. Also, to me personally, in a time of disruption, especially if you are a leader, you find that no one has the answer. Even you as a leader, you won't have the answer. And it's not because you are incompetent. It's not because you don't know your job. It's because you may have the right answer today. Then something changed. And it becomes the wrong answer. A case in point. These days, if we were to say long-term planning, how long should long-term planning be?
3 years.
3 years, okay. Any other different answer?
3 days.
3 days. Any answer between 3 years and 3 days? 6 to 12 months, right? The flavor of the month now is 90 days. Because the tariffs may change or may not change in 90 days. Right? And we got people who want to plan not long-term things, just annual forecast, business forecast, and they don't know whether the tariffs will be 10, 20, 40, 140%, 90 days down the road. So that's a kind of a situation that we are facing at the moment for psychological safety. Now, this one really well, better. Is it okay if I don't use the mic? Oh, okay. I'll throw away this. So, the next part is, how are we going to instill this sense of psychological safety in a time of disruption? How do we make sure that everyone on our team, whatever your role is, are able to kind of be able to do the right things that will improve psychological safety? And this is what we call as norms. What kind of norms do you want to have in your teams? Now, just a simple definition of norms. Norms are formal and informal rules that dictate how we interact with one another. Right? So it can be, it can be formal or it can be informal. So formal rules, that means it's in your employee's manual, in whatever that's written down, this is what you should do, you must do. Informal can be things that we just, mutual habits that we agree upon. Okay, I'll just leave it as that. The thing is, there are also different aspects of shaping our norms. So there are going to be 3 aspects. One will be on how we communicate and collaborate. Right? Communicate is how do you want to tell the other person, how you give and accept feedback. Collaborate is how do you allocate different roles? Different people do different things. How do you share resources? Right? So that's, what's happening? Let's communicate and collaborate. Number two is someone mentioned that psychological safety is not about being nice. So there still has to be some aspects about being accountable and having that commitment. Right? So what are norms that are good that are useful to show commitment and accountable that leads us to better psychological safety? Right? And also, what are some of the things that we can learn, grow, or innovate? Especially on learn. Because learning a lot of times is because we make mistakes and then we learn from our mistakes. Right? And sometimes if you find that you are confused, just like this morning when we are trying to find our seats, everyone was confused. Right? The moment you are confused, it's likely that you are about to learn something. Right? So it's about how you learn from mistakes, from confusion, how you grow, and how you innovate. And what I'm going to do is to give another worksheet about a case. So, yes. So I'm going to give a case about a team. This is a fictional one. It's made from different teams. We put them together and we'll base on this case, and we have allocated different groups to do different parts of the norm setting. So let me send out the stuff first. So before you jump into the case, this is what I'll need you to do. Right? On your table is another flip chart. Yeah. Right? And you will find that you are being allocated different categories of clusters of norms. And so these two groups, you will have the same part, communicate and collaborate. So same. This two group will be accountable and commitment, right? Yes. And this one will be learn, grow, and innovate. So what I'll need you to do is in your own group, we'll be giving out more post-it notes. In your own group, just list down the norms that you feel in that are part of this category that will help you improve psychological safety according to the case. Right? Do it in your own group first, and then we will get the two similar groups, the two same groups, to consolidate. Make sense? Right? So let's have another 20 minutes. Read the case, brainstorm, and this time don't need to prioritize. Just stick whatever you feel is relevant, and we'll get the two similar groups to consolidate. Questions?
Examples of norms.
Examples of norms. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, so examples of norms, if it's communicate, it's how we communicate or how we collaborate, and so on.